Never stop reading the Bible.
All right, welcome. Today we're diving into the first couple of chapters of the book of Daniel, and what a story it is. So let's start with the man himself, Daniel. His name in Hebrew, it actually means God is my judge. And this isn't just some random name. It's basically his life's motto. It defines his whole story, this idea of trusting in God's authority over, the most powerful king on the planet. Okay, so the story kicks off in a pretty dark place. We're talking full-blown crisis. Judah has just been conquered by the famous king Nebuchadnezzar, and Daniel, along with his buddies, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, they're all young nobles, and they get captured and dragged off to Babylon. And the plan for them? Well, it's basically to erase their identity, to assimilate them completely so they can serve the king.
And it doesn't take long for their loyalty to be put to the test. But get this, it's not with swords or on some battlefield. Nope, it's at the dinner table. They're ordered to eat the king's rich food and wine, a diet that goes completely against their religious laws. It's a classic move, right? Force them to compromise who they are, bit by bit.
So, here you have it. The choice is laid out plain as day. On one side, you've got all the comfort and perks of just blending in, doing what the king says. And on the other, a super simple diet of vegetables and water. It's this quiet act of staying true to themselves. But what's really cool is Daniel's approach. He doesn't just stage a rebellion. He's smarter than that. He proposes a little experiment. His proposal, it's as simple as it is bold. He basically says, look, just give us 10 days. For 10 days, let me and my friends eat nothing but vegetables and drink water. After that, just compare how we look to the other guys eating all the royal food. I mean, talk about a huge risk. And the result? Absolutely stunning. After just those 10 days, Daniel and his friends actually looked healthier than everyone else, so their faithfulness paid off big time. Not just physically, but they were also blessed with amazing knowledge and skill. But Daniel, he got something extra special, this incredible ability to understand visions and dreams. And let me tell you, that gift was about to become a matter of life and death. All right, so that was test number 1. But things are about to get way more intense. We're moving from a personal test about food to a full-blown kingdom-wide crisis where everyone's life is on the line. Okay, so imagine this. King Nebuchadnezzar has a dream. A really, really disturbing dream. The kind that wakes you up in a cold sweat. But here's the kicker. When he wakes up, he has no idea what he dreamed about. It's just gone. And this forgotten mystery, it sends the most powerful man on earth into an absolute rage. So he calls in all his advisors, his magicians, his wise men, and gives them this terrifying, totally impossible demand. He says, you have to tell me what I dreamed, the dream I can't remember, and you have to tell me what it means. If you can't, you're all going to be cut into pieces. And just like that, Daniel and his friends find themselves on death row with everyone else. Now, faced with what seems like certain death, Daniel doesn't freak out. It's incredible. He responds with so much wisdom and courage. First, he goes to the captain of the guard and is like, hey, why is the king's order so harsh? Then, he boldly goes and asks the king for a little more time. But then, he does the most critical thing of all. He gets his friends together, and they pray. They ask God for mercy. And guess what? That very same night, their prayers are answered. The whole secret, the entire dream, is revealed to Daniel in a vision. And he quickly realizes this was no ordinary nightmare. This was a message from God, a prophecy, really. It was like a roadmap for the future of all the great world empires. So Daniel goes before the king and lays it all out. He says, you saw a giant statue. The head was made of gold. That was you, Nebuchadnezzar, in your Babylonian empire. After you, there's another kingdom, represented by the chest and arms of silver, then a third of bronze, and a fourth super strong, like iron legs. But the feet were a weird mix of iron and clay, kind of fragile, representing a final divided kingdom. And then, this is the crazy part, a huge rock, one that wasn't cut by human hands, comes flying in and smashes the whole statue to dust. And that rock, it grows into a mountain that fills the whole earth. It's a symbol of God's kingdom, one that will last forever and outlast all the others.
Can you just picture that scene for a second? The king is hearing his own forgotten dream described perfectly, word for word, followed by this mind-blowing interpretation. I mean, the most powerful, most prideful man in the world is just completely humbled.
And this leads to a moment you just wouldn't expect. The king doesn't just pat Daniel on the back and say, "Thanks." No way. He falls on his face and worships. He actually declares that Daniel's God must be the real deal, the God of gods and the Lord of kings, a revealer of mysteries.
So the outcome here is just transformative. Because Daniel stayed faithful and because God revealed this secret, every single one of the wise men in Babylon gets to live. Daniel, he gets a huge promotion to a position of real power. And maybe most importantly, you have this powerful pagan king publicly giving props to the God of the exiles. It's a total game changer.
You know, this whole story, from a simple choice about what to eat all the way to revealing a divine secret, it really leaves us with a powerful question to think about. It just goes to show how the quiet, steady conviction of just one person, when it's rooted in faith, can stand up to you and even change the direction of the greatest powers in the world.
Well, that's all the time we have for this explainer. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been a production of the Center Studio.